World War II, one of the deadliest conflicts in history, erupted in September 1939 following Hitler's invasion of Poland. Britain and France swiftly declared war on Germany, leading to a prolonged and devastating global struggle. But what if history had taken a different course? What if Hitler had exercised more patience and avoided the immediate confrontation with Britain and France? Could he have secured his true goal, the conquest of the Soviet Union, without triggering a two-front war? Today, we explore an alternate historical strategy that could have drastically altered the outcome of World War II. The Munich Agreement of 1938 was a defining moment. Britain and France, desperate to avoid war, allowed Hitler to annex the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia. It was a policy of appeasement, a signal that the Western Allies were unwilling to fight over Central Europe. Had Hitler stopped there, he might have remained unopposed for years. But Hitler did not stop. In March 1939, he violated the Munich Agreement by occupying the remainder of Czechoslovakia, proving that his ambitions extended beyond unifying ethnic Germans. This blatant act of aggression shocked Britain and France, prompting them to issue a guarantee to Poland vowing to defend it if Germany attacked. This moment set the stage for war. But what if Hitler had chosen patience? What if he had stopped at Munich and not invaded Czechoslovakia? In this scenario, Britain and France likely would have continued their policy of appeasement, avoiding direct confrontation. There would have been no immediate reason for them to extend a guarantee to Poland. By mid-1939, Hitler had already been negotiating with the Soviet Union. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, signed in August 1939, secured Soviet neutrality and secretly divided Eastern Europe between Germany and the USSR. If Britain and France had remained uninvolved, Hitler could have invaded Poland without triggering war in the West. In this alternate timeline, Poland would still have fallen, partitioned between Germany and the Soviet Union, as agreed in the secret protocol of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. But with Britain and France remaining neutral, Hitler would not have been forced into a two-front war. Instead of being drawn into a prolonged conflict with the Western Allies, he could have focused solely on his ultimate goal, the conquest of the Soviet Union. With Poland subdued and no war in the West, Hitler could have launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union, a year earlier, in 1940, allowing German forces to push deeper into Soviet territory before winter set in. This could have been a game-changer. Stalin's military was still recovering from purges that had decimated its officer ranks. The Soviet defenses were unprepared, and an early invasion might have given Germany a decisive advantage. Moreover, without the need to defend against British bombings or fight in France and North Africa, the full strength of the German military could have been focused on the Eastern Front. Launching the invasion in 1940 could have avoided some of these logistical nightmares the Wehrmacht faced in 1941. In this timeline, Germany strikes the Soviet Union in the summer of 1940. Unlike the real-life Operation Barbarossa of 1941, the Wehrmacht attacks a Red Army that is even less prepared. Why? Because Stalin's purges of the late 1930s had devastated Soviet military leadership. Additionally, much of the Soviet military was still in the process of modernization. Without the extra year of build-up, the Red Army is even weaker than in our reality, which was demonstrated by the Red Army's poor performance against Finland. Historically, the winter of 1941 was a major factor in Germany's failure to capture Moscow. The German blitzkrieg sweeps through Belarus and Ukraine. Kiev falls quickly, followed by Smolensk. Moscow is threatened by autumn of 1940. Japan, seeing a weakened USSR, could have attacked from the east to secure their share of the resources they so desperately needed. However, does this mean a German victory? At first glance, this might look like an easy German victory. The Red Army is disorganized, Stalin is caught off guard, and no Lend-Lease aid is coming from the United States. But here's the twist. Hitler's problems don't just disappear. First, Germany lacks the industrial and logistical capacity for a prolonged war. Even with an early start, they still face the brutal Russian winter and overstretched supply lines. Moreover, if they fail to secure the Caucasus, they will be critically short of fuel. Second, even though Stalin is shocked, he does what he always does. He digs in. With an early invasion, the Soviets can still relocate their industries beyond the Ural Mountains, ensuring they continue the fight. And third, the longer the war drags on, the more Britain, though not at war with Germany, might see an opportunity to strengthen its position, perhaps even making a deal with the USSR later on. So while Germany might capture more ground quickly, they still face the same ultimate problem: fighting an endless war against a massive, resource-rich empire. So what happens to Hitler? In this alternate scenario, his fate might change dramatically. If Germany manages to force a weakened USSR into collapse, Hitler could end up ruling a vast continental empire, turning his focus on Britain and France later while controlling the vast resources of the Soviet Union. But if the Soviets hold on, even without outside aid, Hitler may find himself bogged down in a war just like in our timeline. By 1942 or 1943, his armies could still be exhausted, his supply lines stretched, and his enemies regrouped. Would the Nazis eventually still lose, but under different circumstances? Or could Hitler, without a two-front war, have actually won? That's a terrifying thought. History is full of what-ifs, and this is one of the biggest. Had Hitler attacked the USSR in 1940, the war may have played out very differently. Would Germany have won, or would the Soviets still have prevailed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into alternate history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell